I'd like to call the Missouri Western State University Board of Governors meeting to order. And we will now hear a report from the Personnel, Finance, and Operations Committee.
The Missouri Western State University Personnel, Finance, and Operations Committee met to hear the proposed university budget for fiscal year 2022-2023, presented by Vice President Morrison. At this time, I present to the board the following recommendation. Personnel, Finance, and Operations Committee recommends to the Board of Governors that they approve the university budget for fiscal year 2022-2023. Would like to thank the hard work of Vice President Morrison and his team to get us here. Go ahead, Daryl. You're going to give us an overview. Is that what you're doing?
Yes.
Thank you.
Just to follow up, I'd like to present you with an overview of our budget for the upcoming year for the board record that we discussed in the committee meeting earlier. This is our budget summary for the year. You will see our total revenues being at $46 million operating revenues for the upcoming year. This makes the assumption, as we discussed previously, a 4% increase in tuition and fee and various other adjustments to some of our smaller fees on campus. Of course, the athletics, housing, food service, all the auxiliary numbers are presented there as well. The operating expenses, you can see 28 million, almost a little over 39 million in salaries and fringe benefits for the university, showing that we are a people-heavy university. But our total operating expenses are at $77 million. Our state appropriations there are for you $23.5 million roughly on that, which brings us down to a total decrease in net position of $8,235. Okay, as we present a balanced budget to the full board this afternoon. Just to give you a quick overview on our comparisons from last year's beginning operating budget to the current year, we see the increases on tuition and fees. We see an increase in our state appropriation budget, a decrease in our auxiliary enterprises number, auxiliary revenues, and a decrease in our gifts and grants. And that one is primarily attributable, as you know, and we discussed, to CARES Act funds, federal government funding from prior year. Okay, as you can see, the state the state provides right at for this fiscal year, we're anticipating the state to provide 30% of our overall budget, while tuition and fees to generate 43% of our overall budget. Salaries and compensation increases, fringe benefits increased, numerous things. The exception would be our supplies and services and travel, and those numbers went down, but that's primarily, as we discussed in the committee meeting, a reflection of CARES Act funding and some of the things that we were able to do with that. Okay, here are the numbers. We see that 48% of our total budget is for people. Okay, and that is an increase from 46% in the prior year. The overall budget summary, again, generates, just to put it inside, our operating revenues up slightly for this year. Our expenses also up slightly for this year. Our net non-operating number is also up. That's primarily a reflection of the state funds that we're receiving. So once again, a budget surplus. Questions or comments on this report? Thank you.
Thank you, Vice President Morrison. We have a recommendation coming from the Personnel, Finance, and Operations Committee. Do I have a motion to approve this recommendation?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This motion has passed. There being no further business, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Sorry I couldn't be there.